This part of the process did provide some interesting headaches for me, and I would readily admit that I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but that being said, there were actually some real pain points at this point in the journey. The service itself is actually geared towards domestic services and custom duties. However, you will need to obtain a PIN to apply for your passport. It's one of the required pieces of information. And as we saw previously, you can actually get to the KRA's website through the eCitizen landing page, the dashboard. However, just before you get here, and for the sake of your own sanity, you want to get some piece of information that are going to be required in the application ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to end up frustrating yourself to no end. So the first is obviously a Kenyan ID. This should be standard fare. Have that ready. You will need a Kenyan physical address, and we will look at the site real quick, how it looks and how it takes this information, but that's also going to be a required piece of information. And finally, a Kenyan PO box. So these three pieces of information are going to be necessary to actually complete the application, and which we're going to look at here in the next few moments. All right, real quick, the Kenya Revenue Authority PIN application. And just as a disclaimer, this is not instructing you on what to do. I'll just showing you the process that I went through and some of the areas I encountered some difficulty, so that you can be better armed when you are going through the same process. So from the main eCitizen landing page, you want to click on the Get Service for the Kenya Revenue Authority. It takes you to this page here. If you have created a PIN previously, you can use the login option here to actually change some of the information in the application. However, if you're since I was coming fresh, I just typed in PIN in here, and the one I selected was a PIN application registration right at the top. When you click on that, it takes you to this rather kind of semi-busy page, and it's not really intuitive. What you're looking for is this guy down here, new PIN registration. This is where I went, and then it brings you here, and now this is where you start entering some of the information which is pertinent to your to your individual circumstances. For instance, you click individual or non-individual depending on the circumstances, and the mode of application or registration is an online form. Then I click next. Now once this page kind of sorts itself out, it has to do some stuff here. This portion here obviously will depend on your particular circumstances, but for the most part, most of you would be hitting Kenyan here. You're going to enter your industry. It is a little bit clunky there too. It doesn't have quite a lot of options, but you can figure your way out and select some of the things which are closest to the PIN for your particular situation. Now, so as I mentioned in the previous slide, you do need your Kenyan ID, and that's what's going to go in here. So once you put your Kenyan ID in there, you enter your date of birth and select your gender. It will actually populate the individual data panel here, the particulars of your father and mother. So somebody went through the time to actually put this in a system, so it populates when you enter that information. The pain points I was talking about in the previous section is this chaps down here, right? Physical address. So if you've been away from Kenya for a while and you don't have those roots there, you're gonna have some issues with this, right? Because if you don't have that information, you have to start off by selecting, let's say Nairobi County. You select your district, Kasarani district, let's say for instance, and Roysambu, the royal suburbs. But that's simple enough. But then you also need a building number and a city, town, and a street and road. So that this piece of information definitely more particular, and you do need this to complete the application. Furthermore, you need to also put in a PO box, and so the number itself is a 5-digit number. So you put in the 5-digit number, and then there's a postal code number, which is, I think it's kind of hyphenated or stylized like that or something like that. Anyhow, when you do that, you're going to get some kind of error. In fact, this one, I don't even believe it was doing this before, but it's telling you please enter a valid PO box. So right now in this place, this particular piece of information here, it's only looking for the 5 digits. So you do want to select your town, Nairobi, the general post office, a GPO, and then it populates that the other 5-digit number that I was putting back here previously. So you just need to put the leading 5-digit here. So that's some piece of information to keep in mind. But actually at one point thought that this was only taking a Kenyan formatted phone number, you know, the 254 formatted phone number, but looking at my application, looks like I was able to enter a US phone number. So I'm sure you can enter US or Canadian phone number there. However, going back at this information, you want to get it beforehand, otherwise it is going to be a bit of a headache for you.